Ready? Off you go then, you two.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, open!
Lovely to see you all. I have never been in the company of so many knit maniacs all around. You have to say that very, very carefully. What a wonderful occasion this is. I'm sorry we can't really do this bit up by the pergola, but as you can see there's a little competition. Men on bikes and with very tight trousers, and as nice as that is, we thought we ought to have a bit of decorum for this part of it, and then we're going to go upstairs and do the proper opening ceremony. But we're going to find out a bit about why this has all happened, and I'm going to start by talking to Laurel, who is the chairperson of the Friends of John Grooms. Come forward a bit. Laura, so tell me, and for the sake of everyone who may not know, what is John Grooms and who's there?
Well, John Grooms Court is much better explained by a lot of the young people who live there, who are here, but it's officially and formally described as a home for young disabled people. And the Friends are there to raise funds. We always use this phrase, quality of life, to make life better for those people who live at John Grooms. Some people here know an enormous amount about the charity. Other people don't know at all. I know that you've been involved with it for a very long time.
Yes. But it's quite interesting knowing all of that about John Grooms. Why knitting?
Why knitting? Well, why knitting is quite a long story. And we've got till 4 o'clock.
Can you make your yarn a little shorter than that?
Someone called Mandy, who's not with us this afternoon, who's a resident of John Grooms Court, wanted to learn to knit. That's right, isn't it?
Right,
yes. And Anne, who's a member of our committee and also has her daughter Catherine, who lives at John Grooms Court, thought about this. And Mandy wanting to learn to knit, started us off on a knitting project, which ended up with a knitted Christmas tree. Having done the knitted Christmas tree, you'd have thought Anne was completely exhausted, but no, she was prepared to go on again. And after a lot of discussion, we decided on the knitted flower pergola.
Well, I think this is the moment that I ought to bring Anne in. Let me just come in the middle here. So Anne,
Yes.
yep, you love knitting, but how did you come up with the design for this pergola?
Well, I just came up with it out of my head. I designed a shape which I thought was manageable and which we could take apart and put together again, because obviously it's not a pergola that's going to go in the garden and be permanent. And
So did you have to make some sort of model of it?
yes, I made a model out of wooden skewers, and I then knitted a section of knitting about this long, covered in brown squares and flowers, and took it around to knitting groups to show people what I wanted and to hope that they would knit.
Because where did you actually get your knitters from?
From Norfolk Knitters, largely. They're an umbrella organisation that run groups all the way over from King's Lynn to Lowestoft, covering Norfolk. And their enthusiasm has been fantastic. They've been really keen and really got involved.
How much do you know about the individuals who've knitted? I mean, for example, what about the age range? What sort of people?
Well, our oldest knitter is a lady from Walton-on-Thames who's 104. And she's still going strong. The youngest contributor, she didn't actually knit, but she liked her grandma's flowers so much that she wanted to buy two, and grandma sent us a donation.
What is the range of knitting that we see in the pergola upstairs?
Huge. We've got the basic brown squares, which we made to look like rustic poles, for basic garter stitch, and anything up from small flowers up to really complicated lilies and peonies. Where's Susan? And a fantastic range of flowers, and plus wildlife, butterflies, birds, bees, caterpillars, all sorts.
And you can have all sorts of flowers in your one garden for all seasons of the year too.
Yes, we can. Yes, daffodils and poinsettias all at the same time.
What do you think of the knitters who've done all this?
Absolutely fantastic. It's brilliant that they're so enthusiastic. They enjoy knitting, and I've had letters from daughters saying their 90-year-old mother really enjoyed knitting and being part of a project and supporting people like the residents of John Grooms Court.
It's funny you should say that, because that could even have been said by Tess here, who I think is the 92-year-old mum. Yes. When did you start knitting?
When I was 6 years old.
Oh, why did you start knitting then?
My mother wanted me to do something when I was indoors and started me off, and I knitted everything.
Yeah. And what sort of things do you enjoy knitting?
I enjoy knitting anything really.
Well, I see you're wearing one of your creations there.
Oh yeah.
How many have you got that look just like that at home?
I've got over 50.
Can I guess what you give everyone for Christmas?
Yeah, you're right.
Now tell me, what did you knit on this pergola?
Bluebells. Bluebells are from the stand.
A bit tricky?
Not really, no. They're some very thin wool, 2-ply wool, and very small needles, but at least I do something with my hands. And if you keep your hands going, that keeps your fingers going. Yeah.
And is it nice to know that you're knitting something which is actually bringing benefit to other people?
Oh yes, definitely. If I can't do anything else, they can be sold and money go to help anything else.
Oh, well, should we just give her a round of applause? We're hearing from Tess about helping other people. We've heard about John Grimm's. In fact, the sort of people who may get involved with John Grimm's are quite familiar to you because you get involved in Beccles in a similar sort of community, don't you?
Yes, I do. I volunteer at a local workshop for adults with learning difficulties, and there we create and knit and make things and sell in the shop to raise funds to help them.
Well,
So
I know
this
that
was
you're...
a pleasure to do this for Anne.
I'm sure. Yeah, I know you're very crafty because we heard about the Christmas tree and you actually created some rather special animals, didn't you? What did you knit?
Well, I did a donkey, and then I followed that up with a camel for the natives.
There aren't a lot of camels or donkeys in English country gardens, so what did you do on this occasion?
Well, I started off with a few flowers and leaves, and when I presented Anne with those at our local knitting club, she then gave me the pattern to knit a couple of pigeons.
And some budgies, are you?
Yeah, I did budgies on a swing as well. And I've done a nest with a blue kitten and some babies in this morning. So
Now, when you're knitting a pigeon, what's the most difficult, challenging part?
well, that's to get them to stand up. And they're made out of, what were they made out of? Pipe cleaners, which didn't work. So I had to actually wire the feet and do a little bit of conjuring, you know. I eventually got them to stand perfectly.
Oh, no, I hope you taught them to sing nicely as well. So thank you very much, Kathy. Now, I'd like to introduce you to some of the residents of John Grimm's. In a way, we're drawing awareness to what a smashing bunch of people they are and just what they get up to because their social life is amazing. And I think actually, Danny, you feel that very often people don't know just what those living with disabilities can actually be capable of.
I use public transport now on my own. I never used to be able to do that before. I also work for an organisation for people with learning difficulties as well. Thanks for listening.
And one of the things you really like... One of the lovely things you said to me about John Grimm's is that they let me be me, independent.
They let us be independent. The staff are there just to support us when we need it. The staff don't tell us when to be in. We get in when we like. The staff are just there to support us in the jobs that we can't do.
Brilliant, thank you. And you've been here for about, is it 3 years you've been there?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you like about living at John Grimm's School?
It's independent and you do your own thing.
And actually you do a lot of things, don't you? What sort of things do you get up to during the day?
I help others. I go and see my friends and family.
And what are your plans for the future? What would you like to do?
I would like to go into retail and I'm now looking into their care course.
Lovely, well done. We really wish you well with that. And the last word to you, Catherine, because actually you're very busy, aren't you? What sort of things do you get up to during the day?
On a day-to-day basis, I've got 3 voluntary jobs, which are volunteering at Headway with people with brain injuries, and I also help at an elderly club in the afternoon, and also I do a campaigning, raising awareness for equal lives, and I'm volunteering for a youth forum, and also a trustee for the whole organisation.
I have to say that you're a very lively lot. What's the atmosphere like there? Are you quite noisy when you're all together?
I think we can be. Going back to John Groom's, what I've liked best is the fact that we've got our own flat, and also we can be independent when we want to be, have people over when we want to, you know, they try to encourage us in best independence, really.
Being yourself, really.
Yeah.
Just being everything you can be. What do you think of the lovely people? And there are hundreds and hundreds of them.
I think everyone deserves, you know, deserves a clap, and in a way, they've all done so many different things with the Pergola, and I hope that it will raise awareness more for disability, and also I think there's some people who have done this and are disabled, so it just goes to show, no matter what, everybody non-disabled people can just do what they can.
Great, lovely. Well, thank you. This has been such a joint effort. There's something like 10,000 or more flowers and examples of knitwork and crocheted pieces on the Pergola. It's an amazing achievement, and it will move on. It will be seen and put on display in other areas. It will raise funds wherever possible, and most important of all, it will raise awareness of what a smashing bunch of people, not just those living in Norwich, but all over the country, just what the potential is here. So thank you to all of you for coming. Our young people here are going to do a countdown to open the Pergola upstairs. So I know you've all made your way down here, but do you think you could take 10 minutes to just climb back up again? And then we will all do a big countdown and be able to say thank you properly to all of you who've helped so much. Thank you for coming.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, open!